Chapter 85. The Wu Tower. This chapter is updated by Novels.pl. Zhang Yuochen did not know much about the Wu Tower. He had no idea how many floors and levels he would be able to get through. Beside him, Liu Chengfeng seemed excited. He lowered his voice and said, "Let me tell you guys a secret. I've practiced at the Wu Tower 3 times before the exam. Given my current realm of martial arts, I'm very confident I can pass the 3 obstacles on the first level. As for the second level, I should be able to pass 1 or 2. According to the previous results, as long as you can pass the 3 obstacles on the first level, you'll stand out and be accepted as an external student of Western Campus. People who are able to pass the 3 obstacles on the second level are incredibly rare. There is either 1 or 2 in a year or no one at all." Liu Chengfeng laughed. "Given my talent and the practice I've had, I have a chance to be in the top 10. Warriors from Yunwu Commandery all looked at Liu Chengfeng with envy. "Master Liu, please tell us more about the situation in the Wu Tower. At least we know what to expect when we get inside. I have 8 spiritual crystals here, please take it." A male warrior pressed the spiritual crystals into Liu Chengfeng's hands. "Master Liu, we are all warriors from Yunwu Commandery. If we get into the school of the martial market, we can look out for each other there. Please tell us more. Here are 5 spiritual crystals. Please keep them." Another warrior reluctantly held out 5 spiritual crystals and passed them to Liu Chengfeng. Everyone started taking out their spiritual crystals for Liu Chengfeng to learn more information about the Wu Tower. Shortly after, Liu Chengfeng had collected a small pile of spiritual crystals. The smile on his face got even brighter. Clearing his throat, he said, "It's not a problem to tell you about the Wu Tower. First, the tower has 7 levels with 3 obstacles each. When I first entered the Wu Tower to practice, I was only at the completion of the Yellow Realm. I didn't even make it through the first obstacle. When I entered the second time, I passed the first obstacle, but failed on the second. The third time, I got through the first 2 obstacles, but failed again in the third." A warrior asked, "What are the 3 obstacles on the first level?" Liu Chengfeng smiled. "I can't reveal too much, but I can tell you this. The first obstacle tests your battle strategy, the second tests your agility and speed, while the third tests your spiritual power and willpower." Liu Chengfeng's answer was vague and everyone was still confused. They did not know what they were going to face in the Wu Tower. While the warriors below were discussing the Wu Tower, the 2 beauties sitting cross-legged on the stone stage were also talking to each other. Senior Huang swept her eyes around her and said, with a voice as cold as ice, "The cultivations of the new students this year are pretty good. 15 of them have reached the dawn state of the Black Realm while 47 are in the advanced state. If nothing goes wrong, the top 10 of this year's exam should come from these 62. Senior Juanmu's eyelashes were long and curved and her eyes sparkled when she smiled. "We can't be sure though. The obstacles within the Wu Tower are more about testing the warrior's talent, battle strategy, willpower, and spiritual power. Perhaps there will be a prodigy from the initial or mid-stage." Senior Huang said, "Although it's said that the Wu Tower tests talent, the higher the cultivation, the larger advantage. Let's see if there will be a prodigal warrior this year who can pass the 3rd obstacle on the second level." A freshman passing the 3rd obstacle on the second level. "That's far too difficult." Senior Juanmu spoke again. "There are 3 people who might succeed. Prince Huoxing of Square Commandery, Kai Minghai of Flame Dragon Commandery, and Yao Yintong of Moon Commandery." King Yu of Square Commandery was also a competitive warrior, but unfortunately, someone killed him in the first exam. Senior Huang's mouth twitched upwards. "Then, isn't the one who killed King Yu more powerful?" Senior Juanmu's eyes lit up. "You're right. I wonder who killed him." Juanmu's eyes started searching through more than 400 young warriors below. To be able to kill King Yu, they would have to be one of the strongest among the new students. Senior Huang once again closed her eyes. "Since you're so curious, let's make a round at the Wu Tower tomorrow and see what kind of prodigies there are." "Great idea." Juanmu was very excited and began anticipating the breakthrough of the Wu Tower tomorrow. At dawn, when the first light shined at West Campus of the School of the Martial Market, 468 young warriors were brought to the foot of the Wu Tower under the guidance of the 9 presbyters. The Wu Tower was 7 stories tall. The entire tower radiated in a golden glow. It did not resemble a tower built by man, but more like seamless genuine martial arms. Not only were there the 9 presbyters, there were also a number of external students of the School of the Martial Market who came to watch the competition. They wanted to see what kind of prodigies would be revealed among the new students. The School of the Martial Market only admits new students once a year. The exam was naturally a major event. 3 days ago, the students of Outer Palace who took Zhang Yuochen and others to Omen Ridge were mostly male students. However, that was not the case today. Over 70% were female students, with the male students as the remainders. The female students were all wearing white robes. Many of them were good-looking as if they were the beauties who had just walked out of an art piece. Zhang Yuochen stood at the foot of the Wu Tower and asked Liu Chengfeng, "Why are there so many female students of Outer Palace today?" Liu Chengfeng responded, "The yin flourishes while the yang declines at West Campus of the School of the Martial Market. The female students have far more say than the male students. For example, taking us to and back from Omen Ridge, patrolling Omen Ridge. All these laborious jobs are given to the men." Zhang Yuochen replied, "That's so unfair." "Exactly. But who dares to rebel? Who dares to challenge them? If you confront with them, you'll be dead." Especially the 3 female devils. One is worse than the last. If we become the students of Outer Palace of West Campus, we'll have to be careful when we see them. Liu Chengfeng wouldn't stop shaking his head and sighing. Zhang Yuochen smiled, but he did not take Liu Chengfeng's words seriously. As long as he was strong enough, he would not be afraid of being bullied by women. At this moment, the breaking through the Wu Tower had begun. 10 people entered the Wu Tower at a time. Elder Situ stood outside the main door to the Wu Tower, announcing the names of the first 10 people to enter the tower. Those who were not called had to wait for the next round. After about 3 minutes, the first warrior who failed an obstacle walked out from the Wu Tower. His chest had a blood hole that bled continuously. It was a serious injury. Everyone was shocked and said, "That person's cultivation is at the initial stage of the Black Realm." He only lasted for 3 minutes before failing. Their warrior who had failed an obstacle said depressingly, "I failed at the second obstacle on the first level. One moment of oversight, and I was attacked by." He was about to reveal his experience in the Wu Tower, but a presbyter standing far away gave a cold grunt and an invisible sound wave flew from his mouth. The young warrior's face turned white and he immediately swallowed the words he was about to say. Within only a quarter of an hour, the first group of warriors who entered the tower had all came out one by one. Out of the 10 new students, 3 of them had passed 3 obstacles on the first level. 5 had passed 2, and 2 had only passed 1. Yet, no one made it to the first obstacle on the second level. Those 3 who passed the first level had a large chance of passing the exam and becoming external students of the school. Of course, the final ranking would be determined by exactly how well they performed in the tower. The next group of people entered the Wu Tower. There was a prodigy emerging from the second group. He made it through the second obstacle on the second level and almost passed the third obstacle. Someone recognized the prodigy, Kai Minghai of Flame Dragon Commandery. He was only 22 years old and had already reached the dawn state of the Black Realm. A presbyter wearing an emerald gourd at his waist let out a gentle sigh. What a pity. He almost made it through the third obstacle on the second level. Elder Xi said, "That's already remarkable for a new student." Looking at his performance inside the tower, he'll definitely make into the top 5, perhaps the top 3. Another presbyter smiled and said, "If no one else makes it through the third obstacle on the second level this year, does that mean he'll become the first of the new students this year?" Elder Situ stared at Prince Huoxing standing in the crowd. He smiled slightly. "There'll definitely be someone who will pass the third obstacle on the second level. Just watch." Elder Situ had great confidence in Prince Huoxing. Given his current cultivation of the Dawn state, passing the third obstacle on the second level should not be a problem. He might even be able to pass the first obstacle on the third level. The second round continued. Soon after, it was Prince Huoxing's turn. In just 10 minutes, the lights on the second level of the Wu Tower lit up, meaning Prince Huoxing had already made it to the second level. To make it to the second level in just 10 minutes, Prince Huoxing is indeed extraordinary. He truly lives up to the name of a young prodigy of square commandery. Rumor has it, he's also a talented tamer. Given his talent, he'll surely pass the third obstacle on the second level. The first place this year will surely belong to him," said a beautiful external female student, her eyes glowing with admiration. "Huoxiu, are you thinking of becoming a crown princess?" Another female student laughed. The female student of Outer Palace called Huoxiu said, "So what if I am?" Prince Huoxing is not only a prince, but also a highly talented warrior. As long as you're a woman, who doesn't want to marry him? Swish. After an hour had passed, the lights on the third level of the Wu Tower lit up. This meant Prince Huoxing had made it to the third level. At the foot of the Wu Tower, all the warriors were shocked and surprised.